Hello, you're welcome to my channel today. Today we'll be treating logarithms. What is a logarithm of a number? A logarithm of a number is the power to which 10 is raised to give that number. Logarithm can also be called power, and logarithm occurs in different bases other than 10, but the most commonly used base is base 10. Logarithm of a number has two parts. It has the characteristic part and the matissa part. For example, we have 3.125. 3 here is the characteristic part, or you can call it integer or whole number. Why after the decimal point we have the matissa part, or you can call it decimal fraction part. Now moving further, we are going to solve logarithms of numbers greater than 1. Going further, we are going to solve these examples under logarithms of numbers greater than 1. Number one example, they said that we should find the logarithms of the following numbers. Now, finding the logarithm of these numbers, we are going to be making use of four-figure table, or you can call it mathematical tables, any one of them. Solutions. Number 1A, we are given 4.8 is equals to. Now, I've already made a video under standard form, because before you can be able to solve this, you have to know standard form. Why? Remember what I told you, that logarithm has two parts, the matissa part and the characteristic part and the matissa part. Just like I said, 2.135. Here is the matissa part. And we have the characteristic part, or you can call it integer part. Characteristic part. Now, before we can be able to go further, we have to first of all find the characteristic part. And finding that characteristic part, you're going to make use of standard form. You will first of all write this number in standard form. The power of your 10, after writing this number in standard form, is your characteristic. Now, after getting your characteristic, the remaining number, this 4.8, you remove the decimal points. You're going to look for 48 under 0 in your four-figure table, because there's no other number here. Since there's no other number, you have to look for 48 under 0. But if there is any other number here aside, like being empty like this, you have to look for 48 under that particular number. If there is if there are up to 4 numbers, after looking for it under the number, you still have to find the difference. Now, going further, we first of all write this number in standard form, just like I said. If you don't know how to write numbers in standard form, go to my previous video and check it out. Now, writing this number in standard form, we're going to have 4.8 times 10 raised to power 0. Now, I told you that our characteristic part is the what? The power of 10. Now, finding the logarithm of 4.8, our characteristic part is 0, right? To 0 point. Now we are going to look for 48 under 0 in our four-figure table. Come closer. We are going to open to logarithm of numbers. After opening to logarithm of numbers, you can go down to this side, this S part. Look for 48. You can see S here. You can see numbers. Now this part is the difference part. You can see the numbers. You can see S. This is your S part. Look for 48. This is where 48 is. 48 under 0. 48 under 0 is 6812. 6812. Now we're going to write 6812. This is our final answer for question number 1A. This is the logarithm of 4.8. Now, question number B, 1B, We are given 48. 48 is equals to, now remember our first step, writing this 48 in standard form so that we can carry the power of 10 as our characteristic. Now writing 48 in standard form, we are going to have, remember there's no decimal point. You are going to assume that your decimal point is what? Here. Then you carry it to the rightful position. You count 1. You're going to have 4.8 times 10 raised to power 1. Why is it positive 1? Because it counted to the left. If you are counting to the right, it's going to be a negative power 10. Go back to my previous video under standard form so that you will understand better how to write numbers in standard form. Now, after writing this number in standard form, remember the power of 10 is our characteristic. You write our 1, put your decimal point. Now, we are still going to look for 48 under 0. And you know it's the same number, therefore it will still be 6812. This is our final answer for 1B. Logarithm of 48 is 1.6812. Now, going further, we are going to solve question C. We have our C here. We are given 4800. Our first step, remember our first step, writing in standard form. Now, writing 4800 in standard form, we are going to have 4.8 times 10 raised to power 3. Now, 4.8 times 10 raised to power 3, and our characteristic part is our power, the power of 10. We have our 3 points. Now, after writing your 3, you're going to look for what? 48 under 0. When it comes to different parts, there is no 0 in different parts. Do you get? Now, we're not going to find any difference here. And 48 under 0 will still give us the same number. You have our 6812. This is all we have in question number 1. Now, we'll be going further to question number 2. Question number 2. Question number 2, we have 2A. 2A. We have 5.136 is equals to. Now, as usual, writing in standard form so that we can be able to get our characteristic part. We have your what? 5.136 times 10 raised to power 0, because we did not move our decimal point at all. Now, the power of 0 here is our characteristic part. You write your 0 point. Now, here, we are going to look for 51 under 3 difference of, because we have 4 digits here. That's why we are going to look for 51 under 3 difference of. Now, looking for 51 under 3. Come close. These are S parts. Now, 51 under 3 here is 7101. 7101. The difference of 6 here is 5. The difference of 6 here is 5. 7101. How about 7101? The difference of 6 is 5. The right of 5 under the last digit. Add the write your addition sign. You add the difference. 1 plus 5 will give us 6. Bring down your 0. Bring down 1. Bring down 7. Bring down your decimal point. Bring down 0. Now, our final answer here, the logarithm of this number here is equals to 0.7106. This is the logarithm of 5.136. Now, moving further to alphabet B, In question number 2, we have B is 51.36. Remember our method. First of all, write it in standard form so that we can get our characteristic part. Writing this in standard form should be 1.136 times 10 raised to power 1, because we are going to move this decimal point before the first non-zero digit. Now here, the characteristic part, the power of 10, which is what? 1, a right of 1 point. We will still go to our 4-figure table and look for 51 under 3 difference of 6, which will still give us the same figures because they are the same numbers. We have our 7160 as our answer for question alphabet B. Now going further, question C is 51.3600 is equals to. Now writing this number in standard form, we're going to get, there's no decimal point here. We're going to assume that our decimal point is after the last digit, which is here. You move your decimal point, it counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We counted 5 times and to the left side. Now you are going to have your 5.136 times 10 raised to power 5. It's a positive 5 because of the side we counted to. Now this will give us 5 points, which is our characteristic part. Point, they are the same number. We are going to look for 51 under 3 difference of 6, which will still give us the same digit. Therefore, we have our 5.7106. This is our final answer for question number C. Okay, we'll be solving the multiplication and division parts of it. They say that examples, use tables to calculate the following. We are giving up to 4 questions here. Solutions. Number 1, we have 29.3 times 142 is equals to. Now, what are we going to do here? First of all, we are going to find the logarithms of these numbers. After finding their logarithms, now whenever you have your addition, whenever you have multiplication, you're going to add the logarithms. Whenever you have division, you're going to subtract the logarithms. That is applying the addition and subtraction laws of indices. But first of all, you have to find the logarithms of the given numbers. Now, finding the logarithms of the given numbers, we have to draw a table. To draw a table, the first part is going to be the number part. The second part is log. Now, the first number here, we have 29.3. Now, here, remember what I told you? We are getting our characteristic part from the what? After writing this number in standard form, from the power of your 10. Or another method of getting your characteristic part is leave the first number. Don't count the first number, leave it, or you can just close it and count the what? The number that follows it before the decimal point. Don't add the one of the decimal point. You can leave your first number and count the number that follows your first number. Don't count the first number, just the number that follows the first number. But do not count it through the decimal point. Once you see the decimal point, you stop. Or you can just write the number in standard form, carry the power of your 10 as your characteristic. They are the same. Now here, our characteristic is 1. You write your 1 point. Here we're going to still using our 4-figure table. We are going to look for 29 under 3. Now, looking for 29 under 3, we have 29 under 3 here is 4669. 4669. Have our 4669. Now, the second number is 142. You still write your 142. Our characteristic here, there's no decimal points here. You can remove your 1, the first digit, and count the remaining figures, which is what? 1, 2. Or you can write it in standard form, just like the way I always say. Now we have our here. Our characteristic part is 2. 2 points. We are going to look for log 14 under 2. Log 14. We are going to look for 14 under 2. 14 under 2 is 1523. 1523. Now, applying the addition and subtraction laws of indices, which is whenever you have multiplication sign, you add the logs. Whenever you have the division sign, you do what? You subtract the log. Now, what we have here is addition and multiplication. We are going to add the given log. We have this. 9 plus 3 will give us 12. You write 2, carry 1. Add the 1 to this 6, we have 7. 7 plus 2 will give us 9. You write 9. 6 plus 5 will give us 11. You write 1, carry 1. Add that 1 to this 4, we have 5. 5 plus 1 here will give us 6. Bring down your decimal point. Now 1 plus 2 will give us 3. This is our sum after adding the logarithms. Now here we're going to find the antelope part of it. Finding the antelope part of it, here, making use of the same 4-figure table, you go to the antelope part of the 4-figure table, not the logarithm table, the antelope part. Now here, leave the characteristic side, don't touch it yet. You're going to look for 0.61 under 9, difference of 2. Do not touch this part, the characteristic side. Once you're making use of the 4-figure table, do not touch it yet. Just look for your what? 0.61 under 9, difference of 2. But if you are making use of calculator, you just press everything together. But while making use of your 4-figure table, just look for 0.61 under 9, difference of 2. The work of the characteristic part will still come later. Now looking for 0.61. 0.61 under 9. 0.61 under 9 is 4159. Difference of 2. Difference of 2 is 2. You add it. Now you add 9 plus 2 will give us 11. You write 1, carry 1, add the 1 to this 5. You have what? 6 here. Bring down your 6, bring down 1, bring down 4. Now we're going to have 4161 in the antelope part. Now what is the work of the characteristic side? The characteristic part, which is what? 3 we have here. This characteristic part determines the position of your decimal point. It determines the position of your decimal point. And how would you position the decimal point? You position it in such a way that when you write this number, you convert this number to standard form. Your power of 10 is going to be the same number as what? Your characteristic part. Do you get? Like, for example, now we have 4161. Now, where are we going to position our decimal point so that if we write this number in standard form, we are going to get what? Our power of 10 as 3. We are going to position it what? Here. We are going to position our decimal point here so that if you write this number, you're going to get the power. If you write this number in standard form, your power of 10 is going to be 3. And you know that positioning this number here, this decimal point here, and clean it off are the same thing. Like if you put this decimal point here, it's the same thing. This number is the same thing as what? Cleaning it off. Therefore, our decimal point is what? After the last digit. So that if you write this number in standard form, you will assume that your decimal point is after the last digit. Then you count and get your power of 10 as 3. Now, going further, question number 2. Question number 2. Question number 2, we have 4627 divided by 81.5. This will give us equals to, you draw your table. You draw your table, you have your number part, have your log part. Now the first number is here is 4627. Now our characteristic part here is 3. You write your 3. You write your 3 points. 3 points. Why is it 3? You already know the reason why we have 3 as our characteristic part here. Now we're going to look for 46 under 2, difference of 7. Under the logarithm table, not the antelope part. Now we're going to look for 46. 46 under 2. 46 under 2 will give us 6646. It will give us 6646. Now the difference of 7. The difference of 7 here is 7. Adding the 7, we have our, just adding the difference. 6 plus 7 will give us 13. You write your 3, carry 1, add the 1 to this 4, you have your 5. Bring down your 6, bring down the 6, bring down the decimal point, bring down the 3. This is our logarithm for the first number. Now the second number, we have 81.5, which the characteristic side here is 1. You put your decimal point, you write your decimal points. Now we're going to look for 81 under 5. There's no other numbers, therefore no difference for the second number. Looking for 81 under 5. 81 under 5 will give us 9112. 9112. Now what are we going to do? Since what we have here is division sign, we are going to subtract their logarithms. Now subtracting their logarithm, let me clean this one. You write your subtraction sign. Now you can go further and subtract. 3 minus 2 will give us 1. 5 minus 1, 4. 6 minus 1, 5. 6 minus 9, it can't go because 9 is bigger than 6. What are we going to do? We're going to carry 1 from this 3. We'll be left with 2. Call that 1 10 and add it to this 6. We're going to have 16. 16 minus 9 will give us 7. Bring down your decimal point. Now we have 2 left here. 2 minus 1 will give us 1. Remember our method. We're going to look for this number here in our anti-logarithm table. 0.75 under 4, difference of 1. 0.75 under 4 will give us 5675. 5675. 5675. Difference of 1 here. The difference of 1 here is 1. We're going to add it. You have your 5 plus 1 will give us 6. Bring down your 7, bring down 6, bring down 5. Therefore, we're going to have 5676 here. Now, remember what I told you, that this 1 determines the position of the decimal point. In such a way that if you write this number in standard form, your power of 10 is going to be 1. So where are we going to position our decimal point so that if you write this number in standard form, our power of 10 is going to be 1. We are going to position it here so that if you count further, you're going to have your what? Your power of 10 as what? 10 raised to power 1. And you know that this is a positive 1. This is the position of our decimal points. And here is our final answer for question number 2. Now we'll be moving over to question number 3. Question number 3. Number 3, we have 818.3 times 72.5 all over 2.905. This will give us equals to, now in our method, first of all, draw your table, have your number side, have your log side. Now the first number here is 818.3. The characteristic part here is 2 points, put your decimal point. Now we're going to look for 81 under 8 difference of 3. In our logarithm table, 81 under 8 will give us 9128. 9128. Now difference of 3. Difference of 3 here is 2. We're going to add the 2, the difference. Now adding the 2, we have this plus this will give us 10. You write to 0, carry 1. Add the 1 to this 2 here. You have our 3. Bring down your 1, bring down 9, bring down the decimal point, bring down your 2. Now the second number here is 72.5. You write to 72.5. The characteristic part here is 1, a positive 1. Remember our method. Now we're going to look for 72 under 5. There's no other number here, therefore we're not going to find the difference here. Now 72 under our logarithm table, under 5 will give us 72 under 5 will give us 8603. 8603. The sign we have here is multiplication, therefore we are going to add the 2 logs for these numbers. We're going to add them and get the final answer. You add and get their sum, not the final answer. This plus this will give us 3. This plus this will give us 3. This plus this will give us 7. 9 plus 8 will give us 17. You write what? You write 7. Carry 1, bring down your decimal point. The remaining one added to these 2, we have 3. 3 plus 1 give us 4. Now for the denominator part, we have 2.905. This is the sum for the numerator part. Now for the denominator part, we have 2.905. The characteristic part here is 0. 0 points. Now we're going to look for 29 under 0. Difference of 5. 29 under 0 will give us 4624. 4624. Difference of 5. The difference of 5 here is 7. We're going to add the 7. Adding 7 here, 4 plus 7 will give us 11. You write 1, carry 1, add the 1 to here, to these 2, we have 3. Bring down 6, bring down 4. Now here we're going to have our 4631. Now this is the logarithm of the denominator digit number. Now what else are we going to do? We are going to use the sum of this numerator, the sum of their logarithms, and subtract whatever we get as our what? The logarithm of the denominator number, because what we have here is division. Therefore, we're going to use this and minus this. Now going further, okay, let me write in so show you the align. 1, 3, 6, 4. The decimal point. Now, subtracting 3 minus 1 will give us 2. 3 minus 3, 0. 7 minus 6, 1. 7 minus 4, 3. Bring down decimal point. 4 minus 0, 4. Now, we have gotten the what? Our final log. We are going to find the anti-log part now. Opening your anti-log part of the table, page of the table, we're going to look for points 31 under 0, difference of 2. 31 under 0, difference of 2. 31 under 0 is 2042. Difference of 2 here is 1. Therefore, 1 plus this 2 here, we're going to have what? 3. You write your 3. Let me just write it. 1 plus 2 here plus 2. Now, this here will give us, this plus this one will give us 3. Let me just write it 3. Now, remember, this 4, this characteristic part, always determine the position of the decimal point in such a way that if you write the number, the anti-log part in standard form, the power of 10 is going to be the same number with this characteristic part. And what we have here is what? 4. Now, if you look at this number here, if we assume that our decimal point is here, you count 1, 2, 3. It's not going to be the same number with this characteristic, which is 4. We're going to add what? Extra 0. Now, adding extra 0, you will notice that while writing this number in standard form, we are going to assume our decimal point is here. When you count 1, 2, 3, 4, here the power of 10 is going to be 4. Therefore, this is our final answer for question number 3. Now, moving further to question number 4. Question number 4, we have 7820 times 5.05 all over 944 times 11.7. Now, you know the first step, drawing your table. Drawing the table, you have your number, have your log. Now, the first number here is 7820. Now, here, our characteristic part here is 3. Put your decimal point. Now, we're going to look for 78 under 2. There's no 0 in different parts. Therefore, we're just going to look for 78 under 2 in our logarithm part of the table. 78 under 2 will give us 8932. 8932. Now, the second number here in the numerator, we have 5.0. 5.05. The characteristic part here is 0. Put your decimal point. We're going to look for 50 under 5. Using our logarithm table. 50 under 5. 50 under 5 is 7033. 7033. And the sign we have here is multiplication. Therefore, we are going to add the logs of the numerator numbers. Adding their logs, we have this plus this will give us 5. 3 plus 3, 6. 9 plus 0, 9. 8 plus 7, 15. You write 5, carry 1. Bring down your decimal point. That 1 you carried. If you add it to this 3, have 4. 4 plus 0, still have your 4. This is the sum of the logarithm of the numerator numbers. Now, moving over to the denominator part, we have our The first number here is 944. The characteristic part here is 2 points. Remember our method of finding the characteristic part. Now we're going to look for 94 under 4. 94 under 4. 94 under 4 is giving us 9750. 9750. The second digit here is 11.7. The characteristic part here is 1. Put your decimal points. Now we're going to look for 11 under 7. 11 under 7 here is 0682. 0682. What we have here, the sign we have here is multiplication. Therefore, we're going to add their logs. This plus this will give us 2. This plus this will give us 13. You write 3. Carry 1. Add the 1 to this 7. You have 8. 8 plus 6 will give us 14. You write 4. Carry 1. Add the 1 to this 9. You have 10. 10 plus 0 will still give us 10. You write 0. Carry 1. Bring down your decimal point. Now that one you carry, add it to this 2. You have 3. 3 plus 1 here will give us 4. We are not yet done. Now what are we going to do next? We are going to take this sum and subtract this 1 here because of the division line. We are going to subtract this from this. Now bringing this down, we have 4.5965 minus 4.0432. Now if we subtract 5 minus 2 here will give us 3. 6 minus 3 will give us 3. 9 minus 4 will give us 5. 5 minus 0 will give us 5. Bring down your decimal point. 4 minus 4 here give us 0. Now here, our characteristic part is 0. We're going to look for 0.55 under 3, difference of 3, in anti-log table. You have to open your anti-log reading part. Look for 0.55 under 3. 0.55 under 3 is 3573. 3573. Difference of 3. The difference of 3 here is 2. You add the 2. You have your this plus. This plus this will give us 5. Bring down your 7. Bring down your 5. Bring down 3. Now, what we have here is what? 0 as our characteristic part. Remember what I told you? The characteristic part determines the position of the decimal point in the anti-log side. You position the decimal point in such a way that if you write the number in that anti-log side, the power of 10, if you write the number in standard form, the power of 10 is going to be the characteristic part. And what we have here is 0. Therefore, we're going to position our decimal point here, immediately after the first non-zero digit, which is 3. So that if you write this number in standard form here, the power of 10 is going to be 0. Now, this is where we're going to stop, which is number 4 is the final question for this multiplication and the division part of the logarithms of numbers greater than 1. Now, moving over to the powers and roots of logarithms of numbers greater than 1.